Ah, the wondrous, eternal Quel'Thalas. I haven't been here since I was a boy.
Be wary. The elves likely wait in ambush.
The frail elves do not concern me, necromancer. Our forces are strengthened with every foe we slay.
Don't be too overconfident, Death Knight. The elves must not be taken lightly.
We shall see. Bring forth the prisoner. Where is the entrance to your land, elf?
You will never enter Quel'Thalas, Fallen Prince. The woods themselves protect our borders, and the enchanted Elfgates protect our capital.
Your precious gates will not stop me any more than these trees, little elf. Bring up the meat wagons. We'll make our own entrance.
The energies of this place are strong. Kill the elves, level their structures. This location is perfect for your base.
It'll be a pleasure.
The undead are advancing. Alert the sentries.
This could better be.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos.
My life for this.
We are starting today by invading the homeland of the High Elves, that homeland being Quel'Thalas, so that we can use their Sunwell, this mystical source of their magic,
I bow to you.
in order to resurrect the necromancer Kel'Thuzad. Simple plan, yeah? So Michael McConaughey voices Kel'Thuzad, but the other necromancers have a very special voice actor. Michael Bell also voices Medivh and another unit that we will see quite a while from now in the Night Elf campaign. Michael Bell is in this game, and somehow I never made the connection before. Despite having heard the Necromancer voice lines, the Medivh voice lines, the Druid of the... is it the Talon? I'm pretty sure it's the Talon. Hearing all these voices...
I am Sylvanas
So much.
Ranger General of Silver Moon. I advise you to turn back now.
It is you who should turn back, Sylvanas. Death itself has come to your land.
Do your worst. The Elfgate to the Inner Kingdom is protected by our most powerful enchantments. You shall not pass.
This is more
The timing of that kill could not have worked out any better. Just as she was finishing up her blustery speech about how there's no way we'll ever break through the Elfgate. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this, even though we did this last time to find the Sasquatch Hidden Society Easter egg, I don't think that we actually have any need to utilize this mechanic until this mission, so they don't bother teaching you about that explicitly up until now. And that's because the ghouls are our secondary harvester. They can chop down trees to harvest their lumber. They can clear a path through the woods for us. And also, as we learned before, if we target ground with the meat wagons, they will also clear the trees out of the way. In this mission, we actually have to do that. We have to make use of that mechanic. Also, we've sent just 2 ghouls back to harvest lumber. Shouldn't really need 3. We're not actually going to be expending all that much lumber. Even 2 might wind up being excessive for this one. But we will be fine proceeding on as we get our base set up. And are you guys cleared out? Yeah, pretty much. So we're going to be going with these 3 meat wagons, 2 necromancers, 3 ghouls, and Arthas, and just proceeding onwards. And as our base is set up, we'll just kind of constantly stream units in. Also got a head start on upgrading the Necropolis to Tier 2. And we're going to want the Necropolis at Tier 2, because that is how we are going to build the Temple of the Damned, and how we are going to produce additional Necromancers, these nice Tier 2 units that we've gotten our hands on for the first time. These are our first caster units for the Undead. They have an autocast raise dead ability, like so. Right on cue. Should probably turn that autocast off at the end of the fight. I'm really, really bad about remembering to do that. We're gonna send everyone down there. So that turns corpses of dead units into skeleton warriors. Da-da-da-da-da. We're gonna want our meat wagon dealing with the static defenses, towers. If we lose some units here, it's actually not that big a deal. We can really afford to lose stuff in this mission. We don't necessarily want to go out of our way to just kind of fuck around, but losses are definitely going to happen, especially to make this mission quick. So the other thing that necromancers can do is cast a spell called Unholy Frenzy, which is a friendly buff. It increases the target's attack speed by 75% at the cost of draining 4 HP from them every single second. You can also use this offensively, but it's usually not the wisest idea. If you're just trying to chase a quick kill, you can kind of take advantage of it, of the double edge on that. And the necromancers are really double-edged units because they can provide overwhelming force and reinforcements with all of the skeletons, especially if you're picking off the squishy units first, and then just summoning a really large army of skeletons that also benefit from the same melee armor and attack buffs, the melee and attack upgrades that the ghouls get from the graveyard. You can really bolster your attack that way. Now, the thing that makes that a double-edged sword is that the skeletons still confer XP to enemy heroes when they get killed. So if you use that too recklessly or in a fight that you are definitely losing, really all you're doing is feeding even more additional XP to the enemy hero. And then the same deal with Frenzy. Frenzy is a more straightforward double edge on it. Now that we have the Necropolis at tier 2, we can finally throw down that Temple of the Damned. It's going to be our caster unit production facility. And from there, we are going to pump out necromancers and ghouls from the crypt. So we're going to stream those reinforcements in one by one, and hopefully keep these meat wagons alive until we reach the main base, which is going to be our objective for this mission, is just to take out the main structures for that base. That blue base that's partially revealed on the right side of the map through the Fog of War. So the elves that we're dealing with right now are not the game's Night Elves, these are actually the High Elves. And they kind of represent that in-game by mixing a lot of the human elements and the human structures and units with a couple of Night Elf units. Just with, instead of purple skin, usually white skin. And then the architecture for their production facilities are a little bit different. So they utilize a mix of like archers. We saw a ballista earlier, which is the Night Elf siege unit, but then we're also seeing a lot of footmen, some human caster units like the priests and the sorceresses, seeing arcane sanctums, and these weird looking barracks, like these pseudo barracks that aren't really Night Elf structures or anything, but still we're seeing elves make their semi-debut into the game. Haven't gotten to see much of them yet, considering how far we are in now.
No one orders me around.
Now for this upcoming attack, we're just gonna set. Oh, meat wagon pathing doesn't really want to do the optimal thing, so we're just gonna manually get them at the towers. This will draw a couple of the footmen in, and this is gonna start a big ass fight probably. This is fine. The tower should be dead, and that hit. Now here, what I am... Oh wait, this is not the actual location yet. Should have looked at the mini-map. These units are teal. We're going after the blue base, so we still have a little bit of ground to cover. Ooh, we actually... Yeah, we're a little bit dry on gold, and we have way too much lumber.
What is it now? This is more like it.
just because there actually isn't all that much that we can be spending lumber on. We could, since we're at tier 2, construct a slaughterhouse, which is how we produce additional meat wagons, but if all goes well, we don't actually...
Elfgate. Press the attack. Let none survive.
We won't actually need... Back up. They're already coming. Well, the attack is on. We shouldn't need additional meat wagons, so that's not going to be something we're using lumber on. Really, the only use of our lumber at this point is going to be the all-tree lumber costs for necromancers and maybe a couple of upgrades. Here, what's going to happen is I'm going to sacrifice this army and meat wagons because we are just going to focus on crippling the elves' production and then clean up with a second wave of units that's coming in behind this. So wave 1, the plan is thin them out and mainly just distract the units while the meat wagons go to town on all the production. Like we're taking them out, we're taking out barracks now. We took some of the static defenses. After that, send them after the Arcane Sanctum. And this is just because, this is just so on our second wave of attack, we really do not have to deal with very much. It's just going to be a couple of units, and they will not be able to produce anything else. So now we retreat a little bit with Arthas and the single necromancer that we were able to salvage from that. And we have all of these units streaming in from our Temple of the Damned and from our crypt back at home. They've been steadily reinforcing while we kind of
My fate is sealed.
carved a path through the land, through the map. We also took the upgrade from the Temple of the Damned that will give the necromancers a little bit more mana to work with, because they've been pretty mana limited summoning skeletons. This will give us a couple of extra skeletons per fight. So we'll join those two with the main army. Yeah, we definitely floated way too much lumber. It's not too big a deal. Actually helps us out because we didn't lose that in the initial attacks, so it just helps us reinforce that much quicker. Also, they're being nice enough to bring me the bulk of what was left of the army. I'm sure there are still a couple of footmen, and mainly sorceresses and priests, probably, back in the main base, but this is going to help us clean up quite a bit. They've essentially split off from the rest of the force, which makes it even easier to overwhelm them. Plus, they're going to lose their hero, Sylvanas. And that just makes this all the easier to kind of flow into the base and crush everything. Just going to make sure we have everyone added to the unit group. That is a nice amount of necromancers. So this single unit group is going to represent a lot of units, just because almost half of it right now is composed of necromancers, so that's going to be a few skeletons per caster. Necromancers are really, really nice for keeping you in low upkeep, or no upkeep even. Just like unit efficient, gold efficient. Yeah, they still had a few things, but like I said, it was mainly casters, a couple of archers. I get these guys away from the static defenses. And now we can even finish... Oh, that's why we didn't finish the Arcane Sanctum off, it looks like. But even from over here, let's peel a few of you away. You can actually send all those raised skeletons after the ballista, and then just deal with this real quick. They'll move on to the town hall, and I think that's it for the mission. There's a voice line, I do not hear that much. Oh, Arcane Sanctum's still up, so we'll probably get one more priest or something out. Yeah, so I think instead of moving right onto the town hall, let's just deal with that problem real quick. We can keep the skeletons going after the town hall, just soften that thing up. Oh yeah, there is a priest here. Send a couple of units after it. See how useful necromancers are? God, I love this unit type. And I think next mission, we get to one of my favorite units in Undead. And now we're just going to spam a little bit of Unholy Frenzy, buff up all the units, give them a nice big attack speed buff, since really there's nothing left to threaten any of them on low HP. We can just push this this castle down that much quicker. Even had a few units who weren't fully joined in on the fight yet. And that is the mission. Oh wait, where is it? Do I have to take the altar out too? Is that what I'm... I thought it was just the town hall for this. Oh, all these poor peasants. Might just be anything blue in this base. We're gonna find out. For the high elf base, we're gonna Elfgate to ensure victory. Yeah, no, it's pretty much in tatters. There is no base in this hero. These two hero necromancers and hero ghoul. We're gonna bring down the altar all by themselves. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just the altar. Like, as long as they have no means of producing units left, they lose automatically. There's nothing nearby. I saw a corpse disappear over on the left right before I hit the summon skeleton button. Ah, there it is.
Fall back to the second gate. Fall back.
The Elfgate has fallen. Onward, my warriors. Onward to victory.
Alright, so that's going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Take it easy. Have a good one, everyone.